Reciprocal Ministry. We should remember those who have had a special ministry in our lives. Here's Gene.
David never forgot what Jonathan had done for him. He never forgot that. Even after he became king. And looking back, he had a real concern about his friend Jonathan and those who came after Jonathan. We read in the opening verses of chapter 9. Listen to these words. Beginning in verse 1. David asked, "Is there anyone remaining from Saul's family I can show kindness to because of Jonathan?" See, he's remembering Jonathan. Jonathan's loyalty, all that Jonathan had done for him. Well, there was a servant of Saul's family named Ziba, and they summoned him to David, and the king said to him, "Are you Ziba?" "I am your servant," he replied. And so the king asked, "Is there anyone left of Saul's family that I can show the kindness of God to?" And Ziba said to the king, "There is still Jonathan's son who is injured in both feet." You see, this now is, time has passed. Years have passed. And so David is concerned about reciprocal ministry because of what Jonathan did. So the king asked, "Is there anyone left of Saul's family that I can show the kindness of God to?" And Ziba said to the king, "There is still Jonathan's son who is injured in both feet." And so we go on. Ziba said to the king, "Your servant will do all my lord the king commands." So Mephibosheth ate at David's table just like one of the king's sons. This was the boy that was injured in both feet. So David really remembered his friend Jonathan. And he was really concerned that he have a reciprocal ministry because of what Jonathan meant to him. And you know, as I look at the New Testament, I see Paul modeling this. He practiced this principle in his own life. We see it when he wrote the last chapter in his letter to the Romans. And if you go to that chapter 16, he remembered and honored a number of people who had ministered to him personally. And one was a lady by the name of Phoebe. She was a Gentile Christian. She lived in Cenchrea, and that was a city really close to Corinth. It was right on the coast there of the sea. And so he wrote, and he remembered her, and this is what he said. Notice Romans 16, 1 and 2. "I commend to you," Paul said, as he's writing to the Romans, "I commend to you our sister Phoebe, who is a servant of the church in Cenchrea." He's remembering this woman. Why? Well, he goes on to say, "So you should welcome her in the Lord in a manner worthy of the saints, and assist her in whatever matter she may require your help. For indeed, she has been a benefactor of many and of me also." And by the way, some believe that it was Phoebe who took the scroll of the whole Roman letter and carried that scroll all the way to Rome and delivered it to the Roman Christians. Talk about an awesome responsibility. And here, if that is indeed true, Paul is remembering her for her faithfulness. That was a dangerous trip. And here she had this scroll that we have, of course, in the Scriptures, that we call the book of Romans. Now, if you go into that chapter, in addition to Phoebe, Paul mentioned 28 specific individuals, and 26 of them are mentioned by name. What you have there is you have 2 married couples are mentioned. 2 are mentioned as sisters. You have 2 who represent a mother and her son. You have 8 who are women, 9 including Phoebe. You have 5 men who appear to be a group of spiritual leaders. You have 2 groups representing whole households, and at least 3 groups representing house churches in Rome. And so here, Paul is practicing this principle. And the principle that really grows out of Romans is this principle. I call it Principle 34 in the book of Romans, a model of encouragement. To live in God's will, we are to remember in a special way those who have encouraged us. And that raises a question, I think, for all of us, and that is, who are some of the individuals who have ministered to you in a special way, and how can you minister to them beginning today? And as I reflected on that question, as I reflect on this principle of reciprocal ministry, my mind goes back to a couple of men that were impactful in my life. A man at Moody Bible Institute, when I was a student, when I didn't believe in myself, he believed in me. And he said, "Gene, you can do this." And he really built his life into me and helped me. And I owe so much to this man, Dr. Harold Garner. And I remember one day here in Dallas, after I came from the Chicago area to Dallas, I sat down and I wrote him a letter. And I said, "I am here doing your work because you believed in me." And he did that for a lot of people. But the fact of the matter is that I find that so many people fail sometimes in their success, even look back over their shoulder and realize that they are doing what they're doing because somebody believed in them. We tend to forget, take credit for ourselves. Another man I think of is Dr. Howard Hendricks. He invited me to come to teach at Dallas Theological Seminary, to be his associate. He gave me the freedom to explore the scriptures with my students, which led me to write a book I never planned to write, which was Sharpening the Focus of the Church, which led me to start a church I never planned to start, which led me to become a pastor and to help start a lot of churches, and ultimately helped me to even do this Bible project because of the freedom that he gave to me. I remember taking him out to dinner. My wife and I took he and his wife Jean out to dinner one day or one evening, and I said, "Howie," called him Howie. I said, "There's only one agenda, and that's to say thank you. You believed in me. You gave me freedom." You know, he made an interesting statement that night. Basically, he said, "I can count on one hand the individuals who have stopped to say thank you for what I did in their lives." That's hard to believe because he built into so many people's lives. And yet, that happens so frequently. In fact, when I travel around the country, I have people who come up to me and they'll start talking about Prof. Hendricks. They'll talk about what he built into their life. I said, "By the way, have you ever shared that with him?" And they say, "No, I really haven't." I said, "Well, let me give you an opportunity." I pull out my cell phone, and I have his number, Dr. Hendricks' number, in my cell. I dial it. I said, "Howie, this is Gene. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, or I'm here in New York. I'm talking with somebody that really, really appreciates you, and he'd like to tell you." And I give him the phone, and I just did this several weeks ago. I've done it frequently. And now Dr. Hendricks can't travel anymore because of his age, because of his challenges. And you can't believe what that means to him. You see, it's not just my giving appreciation, it's helping other people to express appreciation. And so the question that I think all of us need to ask ourselves right now, who are some of the individuals who have ministered to you in a special way, and how can you minister to them beginning today?